Under Title 17, U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, guys, today I'm going to read from the Angry Gay Pope, his blog, or his website. And this was back in 2010, and the name of the article is What Happened After the Camera Was Off. And here it goes. Just give me a second. I'm not going to be scrolling because obviously this is ant print, so I can't read that. I'm Gen X. I can't read that. So I'll be reading the entire article on my tablet. What happened after the camera was off? I approached the Delphi Academy of Santa Monica wearing a colorful, kid-friendly rainbow shirt. I deliberately recorded everything I could so there would be no questions or confusion as to events. Unlike last time, there were no children outside. I photographed the inside of the classroom from the windows facing the street. There were no people in the classroom. They're hiding. I was looking for evidence of e-meters, study tech, applied scholastics, WISE, World Institute of Scientology Enterprises, and ABLE, which is Association for Better Living and Education. All of this is Scientology front groups. I entered the courtyard of the cult next door. There was almost nobody around. The classroom doors were all closed. I saw 2 or 3 children inside. I began loudly informing the teachers of the problems with their religion. Scientology using standard protest announcements, these including Scientology is a cult, you deserve a living wage, you should be ashamed to be Scientologists. I personally don't know if I really agree with that statement, but I did not use any obscenities or discuss adult topics, like David Miscavige is sleeping with Laurice Stuckenbrook. The Delphi Academy's website is a love letter to cult founder L. Ron Hubbard. So I also said, LRH, yes, Miscavige, no. Surely they would agree with half that statement. Walked along the edge of the courtyard and up to the church stairs, which allowed me to see more. I personally don't agree with that statement about yes, LRH, but you guys know the backstory. There was a man with what I assume was his son. I told him this was a Scientology front group. He seemed to not believe me or not care, probably already a Scientologist. A woman came out and asked if I was leaving. I told her no. Names. Well, at the same time, I actually did leave the courtyard to go back to the street and await the police. As I was leaving the sanctuary of the churchyard, I conveniently ran into the cops. Okay, hold on, I gotta take a drink here. They asked if I was a person the school had called and what was going on. They had me sit down next to the plants on the sidewalk while they had a long talk with school officials. I've seen the police in Hollywood and Riverside arrest protesters without cause before, and I am very sensitive to the behavior of corrupt cops. This was not the case here, as they listened attentively as I discussed my issues with the cult. The only negative thing that happened was when a leaf from one of the plants kept brushing my ear. I turned around and snapped the end off. Immediately, one of the cops, I'll call him Bad Cop, wish he named him. Also, wonder why he doesn't. Threatened to charge me with vandalizing Santa Monica City property for breaking the end of the leaf off. You see what the Hollywood cops are about? The other cops shushed him from his bad cop act. The police asked me if I recorded things with my camera. You see that the cops are actually doing fair gaming as well. That's my statement. Yes, I record everything. At that time, they were too naive to realize I was recording them at that moment. At around this time, the police demanded to see my camera, so I turned off the recording. They also examined my HD camera recordings of a bodybuilding contest I had been to that weekend. Do you like bodybuilders? The cop asked sheepishly. I said yes. It occurred to me that this was a good thing for the police to find because it showed I was sexually attracted to muscular adult males. This footage was not something a pedophile would have on him. Cultists have accused me of pedophilia on the street before. You see, that's what they do to dirty people's name. They were calling him a pedophile, when in fact what is happening is within the cult, they have pedophiles and they're actually harboring them as criminals, allowing them to our children and covering it all up. And not only that, they're punishing the children for being hired by the pedophiles. Isn't that great? Okay, back to the article. Eventually I was silent. A cop I would call good cop tried to talk about the weather. I said, "You don't have to make conversation. The police brought a woman out. Names. I assume she was with the Delphi school, and not the cult next door. I'm changing the words because you know me. The police said, listen to this woman." Really? Sounds like an order. The woman told me she did not want me to come back. Oh, how does it feel to want? The police reiterated, she doesn't want you to come back. Ooh. Do you understand? Ooh. They decided to arrest me. Now, mind you, this guy is trying to stand up for children. I assumed the position as they went through my things. They confiscated all my memory chips. One, the camera I used in the raid. Sound like what happened with DOA? Two, the bodybuilding footage from the HD camera. Maybe they were going to use that video to blackmail him or something. I don't know. Number three, a memory chip in my bag. Don't remember if it held anything. Do you like bodybuilders? The cop asked sheepishly. They found my medical marijuana and asked about it. They found my HIV, I'm assuming that's some type of a card, and Psych Med Effexor XR, and asked about those. Maybe that was some kind of medication. I was handcuffed and placed in the squad car. Then the police began to confer and apparently get cold feet. I just want to add real quick. They're arresting him simply because he's at the Delphi school protesting, also trying to gain footage of the children inside the school. And just let people know what's going on, which is a First Amendment right to do so. And they're arresting him. And as far as I can tell, he was not on their property. Okay, so back to when they were getting cold feet. And he's in the squad car. Outside, I heard them debating, and one cop said, "He admitted he did it." I said, "Come on, let's go. I'm not going to arrest myself here." When the cop got in and began driving me to jail, I told him I wanted this to go quickly. Can't help but laugh. Or the Scientologists would arrive with their photographers and use the pictures of me being arrested as propaganda for their members. As we drove to jail, the cop mentioned that Santa Monica, really wish he mentioned their names, but back then it was a little more scary, I guess, that Santa Monica was a very liberal place where protests occurred often. He also told me that a lady from the school had had me citizens arrested. That is important because it means that if I am found not guilty in court, I can sue her for false arrest. That's interesting. I think we all need to know more about how that works. Although I had heard people complain that jails have revolving doors, it looked like an ordinary door to me. At the jail, my USB memory stick was also confiscated from my keychain. You guys see, they love the computers and now, because this was quite a few years ago, now they love to take your phones. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. My belt, shoelaces, and anything else I could harm myself with was taken away. That's standard. I was placed in a holding room whose toilet flushed every time the door opened. The guard lady said this was to prevent people from flushing evidence away. That's funny. The policeman from the school told me that because I take a psych med and HIV meds, they were going to let me go without having to post bail. No, well, I'm no legal expert, just so you guys know. But they're doing that because they know there could be some type of liability, I think. I mean, this is just my guess. They could let me go without having to post bail or be incarcerated until the next day to see a judge. That will save you some money, he said. I thanked him. So I wonder how long he was in there for then. Here we go. I was held for about 4 hours, cool-off time, fingerprinted, allowed to call my lawyer, and released. He never should have been arrested. The phone cord in prison is very short, so nobody can strangle themselves with it. I used the time to tell the police about Scientology, which interested them. While being let go, I told the jailer I had a habit of buying websites about Scientologists without their knowledge, thereby stealing their internet identities. "Man, I wouldn't want you mad at me," he joked in what sounded like an Australian accent. As the female jailer let me out the exit, she pointed at the landscaping and said, "Now no stepping on the flowers." I laughed and said I only step on them to make the police arrive. It's funny. And this being a police station, they were already here. They seemed to enjoy this rare visit from a political prisoner. Also, I heard them all laughing a lot. I'm sure it is pretty boring in there, as they only get 3 or 4 people arrested a day. The next day, my medical marijuana, psych med, HIV meds, and bag were returned to me. My cameras and memory chips were not. Of course, they always keep that. I don't know how they get away with this stuff. Without the camera, I could not protest Scientology. After some effort, my lawyer eventually got those back. However, copies of the memory chip from the RAID camera took many months to obtain. This concerned me because Scientologists love to steal evidence from evidence lockers. Yeah, see, it's what I was thinking. They have done this several times in Riverside. So that's all I'm going to read now. I may read some more from tomorrow. I may read more from this tomorrow. But I just wanted to read that to give you guys like a gist of how it changed. So Riverside, yeah, I believe Riverside's the county that LA's in. So I was trying to find out what precinct this was from one of the plants. So Santa Monica City. So that wasn't Hollywood then. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. Peace. Have a good night or day wherever you are.